That's new. That's broken. Lighter today. So for some reason I got a new subscriber, and I think it's a nerdcore group. I'm sure they'll unsubscribe eventually. The only thing I can think is they looked at some of my older videos and saw I was listening to video game music while driving. And they thought, oh, this would be cool. And I was like, it won't. All I know is I look at my entire posting work and I think it's all it's raw and sad. And maybe that's the way I want it to be. A lot of assholes out here today. person. On the inside, I'm like, this feels alright. It's nice out here, though. Can't be miserable about this, man. I got a cool breeze hitting me. It was hot and humid for till about 6. And then, like, a little rainstorm hit. When that happened, it bursted. It was basically, you know, we had a high pressure. It's like a high pressure blister on the air or the environment. And then the rain comes, and after that, it just, all the energy was just gone. Heat energy, I mean. Heat energy just disappeared. So now I've got this cool vacuum on the left behind. And it's nice. And it's going to be here until about 2 a.m. when these storms start rolling in. I couldn't imagine a nicer evening, but the air even smells nice. I mean, as nice as it can. Like I said, it's an interesting urban planning thing they did here. You got a major traffic artery, you got an airport, and then you've got a municipal dump. And a transformer station. like sleeping in the cold. Wrapping myself in blankets. Well, I mean, it is a nice day, so. Probably should have come out here when it was nasty. It's just that there's more people than I expected. It's I think I started around 8:30, so it's almost 9 now. Anyway, what was I saying? So the plan was to do 6.5. And that all got messed up because I'm just not feeling it anymore. I was sitting there doing the foot yesterday. I felt like I could have done more. I'm sitting there in the back of my mind burning through, could I have gotten through the 6.5? I've done the 6.5. Guess won't find out for another month or so. Dealing with all the storm damage, it's hard to get back on track. Although because of it, I started to change up the pattern a little bit. Yesterday I tried something I never tried before. My goal is, hopefully by the end of this year, next year, to start trying to do handstand push-ups, and then someday to walk on my hands. Something I've always wanted to be able to do. And I started step 1 in that journey. I was doing something called bike push-ups, and I have a long way to go. What you do the pike push-up is you get up on a stool, or not a stool, but you get up on a like one of those jumping stands about waist high. One of those the ones that are about waist high. Put your feet up on top of it, like you're getting ready to do like an incline push-up or decline push-up. And then you move your hands in closer. So you're moving them closer to the mission. You're doing that because you're trying to do more and more of the lift using your shoulder muscles. 4 cents of 8. I've gone back down to 5 cents of 5. I'd gain a lot of weight, and now I'm struggling to gain weight, which is a nice problem to have if you ever going to gain weight easily. That's where it's at. Bring it right. Anyway, to the nerdcore guys that I was listening to, that started out, I was listening to some guy named Mega Ran. And I heard his song on a documentary about video games. And I kind of liked it. He did a remix of the Woodman stage in Mega Man 2. And so he did a whole album remixing that and rapping, and his new song I like, or the newer song that I've listened to, is Splash Woman, and I was digging that one. I've been listening to it like crazy. Made a few comments here and there, subscribed to his channel. A day later, somebody subscribed to my channel, and I was like, please don't. I like you, Mega Ran, you won't like me. We're both black geek aficionado, kind of, you know, nerdcore kind of guys, but I think the similarity kind of stops there. I'm reading this dude's bio and I'm just like, wow. The other thing we have in common is it seems like we both come from families that value education to get out of poverty. It's just part of when you are a conquered, subdued culture. Because it's not just a black thing; it's about a poor, subdued culture kind of thing. You had to be twice as good overseers of the conquering race or ethnic group. You gotta play the game better than the guys, than the conquerors did. When I talk like this and you hear me say things, it sounds like I'm genuinely interested in a knowledgeable subject. It's not me playing a game, it's not me playing a part, I'm not acting. This is who I really am. snake. He was more afraid of me. Gotta pay attention. I don't have too many run-ins with snakes. I have to live by a water moccasin because I fell into the river. And I had a rattlesnake pretty much convey to me, I think you better step around. And I said, you know what, Mr. Rattler? I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that advice to heart. I've been attacked by insects and dogs. Wait, you can add cat to that too. I didn't think you could get attacked by a cat. Oh yeah, there was a skunk. That was really more hunger than anything. Thankfully, skunks mostly run away. Every once in a while, you get a skunk with big balls, and he just kind of looks at you, and you look at him. Lincoln, I think, came from rags to riches. Lived in a log cabin with a bunch of their siblings. Worked his way up. Maybe there has been a few. Most of these guys, they were already established. I don't think there's ever been a, like, I think about the Pope, that's another position that's elected. I don't think there's ever been a poor Pope. But all sorts of different weird types of popes. There was a female Pope. Don't know how that one squeaked by. But yeah, make it rain. If you subscribe to my channel, I understand if you unsubscribe after watching a few videos. Hell, I don't think you'll ever get through a video. I don't think anyone gets through these videos. My nephew says he watches them. He says, you know, because content. And I was like, how could you watch this? It's 2 hours of my head bobbing and me bitching into the camera. And then saying stuff that people are like, oh, huh, you ought to be locked up. And I was like, yeah, probably. I think I'm more annoying than dangerous, so that's why I get to walk free. You can be very annoying in America. One of the great things about this country. You could almost be dangerous. Just got to be the right kind of dangerous. Are you dangerous in a way we can make money off of you? If so, we like you. Thing about guys that impress me, and I was like, thinking the other day, I was like, he probably shouldn't, but Mike Tyson kind of impresses me. Because Mike Tyson should be dead. There's a man dang near 50 years old. He is 50. He's over 50 years old now. Family man. Reality TV celebrity. Ex-convict redeemed. From a really rough background. Sometimes I wonder if Mike Tyson still has any anger left in him. That's the other reason why I can't work out like I used to. There's no anger left. There's no fire. There's no. I see it sometimes. I see it in a kindred spirit when I watch sports. I was like, there's a man with some anger. And they just turn it into raw power, and people are like, and talent. And people are like, wow. It's like, where does he get this from? I was like, I guarantee you it's probably anger. Anger is a very powerful fuel. I was angry when I was studying in school. I didn't realize it. That's why I can't study hardly anymore. It's just my anger has been replaced by disappointment and fatigue. Disappointment in myself, disappointment in my environment around me. Plenty to go around. And so far I haven't figured out how to take disappointment and use it as fuel. Disappointment gives you a better vision. Anyway, what was I saying? Disappointment gives you better vision. You start seeing through the cracks of everything. Reading a comic book, strong female protagonist. Really good. That's all I gotta really say. It's a really good comic book. It's not perfect, doesn't have to be. It has a message, and it resonates that message loudly. It communicates that message loudly and clearly. But with a perspective or a body fueled a disappointment is all about, is you start to see the flux in everything. What I mean by flux is you start to see how you live between states. Like there's anarchy all around me, but it's being lightly countered. There are a lot of people out here. a lot of anarchy out there, but it's being kept partly in check by a system that seems to be by a tired system. You know, I go around this park, and I don't think this park was built for the greater good. I think it was just built by money and show. And it's still not done yet. That's the thing. It's like, I know it's not done because my dad can't walk around it. You know, the people that parks like this are designed to be for can't use it. You can't walk to this park very easily. My dad can't walk to this park very easily because there aren't a lot of sidewalks for people who have physical impairments. He can't walk over Northwest Highway, so he can't. And even if he could, there's no sidewalk that gets him directly here. You saw me walking through the grass when I first started. You can come in off the street here, but you got to go through the bus station, and then on top of that, you got to go through the bus station, and then on top of that, you got to walk through a sidewalk that's kind of iffy. Broken sidewalks. The levee is still got the old type of concrete on it. Still kind of rough to walk on. And then it looked like they were trying to put an archway up here. I guess that would tell you that it's Bachman Lake, but they never finished the archway. Or the sign for the archway. I mean the sign around the archway. The lights around this park originally were privately funded. There was a donation and the guy had them built. I think that's still the case. They put a bunch of signs over here talking about wildflowers and the Works Project Administration. But nothing that seems like it really relates to Bachman Lake or Dallas. Like, this looks unfinished. Not sure if they're going to put a big archway over here that says Bachman Lake, letting you know what trail you're on. White Rock has one. White Rock has a couple. That's another one that don't think they're ever going to finish it. But yeah, Bachman Lake's weird. It's a park you can walk around, but can't easily walk to. That weird state of chaos, that flux of anarchy and chaos. I mean, anarchy and order. Okay, so I'm dead tired. Let the diarrhea soup flow here. Not really locking on any coherent thought. Getting my therapy, or AK as the Native Americans used to call it, my medicine. But I like peace and quiet, and it's hard to find it. So I talk to kind of counter all the noise I hear around me. No, I was looking at strong female protagonists, and they were talking about might makes right. And she was taking a class and was being taught about aesthetics and ethics. And as a computer programmer, I realized that ethics and morality are just human algorithms. The things that we try to run, to keep things in balance or check. You know, I finally figured out what the definition of normal is. And normal is safe. And that's why it's so hard to define. Because everyone has a different level of comfort they have when it comes to safety. Some people can live in the middle of Chirac and just love the place. And then the news media sits there and comments and makes it sound like it's hell on earth. So how do I define normal? I guess I define normal as not really causing too much bodily harm or death. Like I said, I live in flux. So even that definition of normal changes. Normal means discipline. Normal means control. Most of us in the United States, we've learned, and I guess our normal is to keep your hands to yourself. And we're kind of extreme about that whole thing. But in other countries, people put their arms around you, put their hand on your back. There's embracing, there's kissing, there's hugging. There's a lot going on, man. Anyway. I'm constantly trying to change normal. Just terms that everybody tries to find. Busy. Okay, well, there's a sign. But yeah, normal and freedom. I remember saying that as long as it got busy, I wouldn't mind. And you know what? I kind of don't. It's good to see this many people here. It means that more people are starting to work out now. But are they going to be here when it starts getting hot? be around when it starts getting hot, when it's 100 degrees outside, when the sun goes down. I think because it's a pretty nice day, you're going to see a lot of people here. Anyway, getting back to what he was saying. The girl in the story, she beats up a guy and forces him to use everybody has special power, or not everybody, a certain generation has special powers. And the girl bullies a guy into helping out a friend of hers. So she's sitting there and she's conflicted and she's trying to figure out, what does she believe? What does she believe? She's always trying to do the right thing. And that's another word that there's words that people say but don't really think about, and they just parrot them out because that's what they've been taught to do their whole lives. They never deeply examine these things. What does freedom mean? What is normal? What is right? And what is fair? And I find myself in flux or in constantly in conflict about these things. And in the book, it was kind of saying all this stuff. It was like, yeah, what is this? What is that? What is blah, blah, blah. When you're by yourself and you're trying to do things by yourself, all those concepts seems like luxuries. When there's airplane noises and people looking around, like I keep shutting up because people think you're like, this guy's talking to himself. What the hell? And I am talking to myself, but I'm also letting my little commentary on board. Say that I think that strong female protagonist is pretty decently written. Yeah, there's too much shit going on tonight. Someone decided, hey, let's build a park in the middle of all the shit that goes on around the city. It's like, okay. New York does it. Like, Central Park's in the middle of Manhattan, but is it as noisy as this? I watch the movies and it seems like it's pretty crowded. At least some idiot didn't try to build Central Park next to an airport, which they didn't have Central Park. You get what I'm saying? I think Love Field was there when they built this. got me kind of, I hate to say this out loud on the camera with evidence, but I'm kind of missing the Wright Amendment. I thought it was a stupid law, and I still think it's a stupid law. It's just like, then again, sometimes I look at anti-competitive practice and monopoly things and blah, blah, blah. And I understand why laissez-faire capitalism doesn't work in reality. But I look at monopoly laws like I look at offsides in sports. It's like you want to see a good game, but you can't because there's this weird rule that says you can't do because it gets really tough to define offsides half the time. When he was behind the line, this guy was here, but the line keeps moving and shifts. And look, okay, we called it the way we saw it. And basically, the Wright Amendment seemed like it was a bad call in a pretty tight sports game. Right about the time Southwest Airlines was getting ready to take off, pun intended, this dude slapped a tag on it because he has a personal grudge against him. And it was an injustice that lasted on the books for a long time. But did not see other airlines coming in there and starting to use the goddamn airport. So I was just like, you got Southwest coming out of there, you got American coming out, you got all these, not American, but you got all these different types of flyers, of airlines flying out of there. I guess I'm kind of wondering why they didn't tell them, hey, you guys need to start building noise barriers back here for the people using the park. That would have been fair. That would have been just. That would have been blah, blah, blah. And that's where the cynicism and the flux comes in. They could do all these things. They're not going to. Might makes right. In this case, the might's money. But yeah, Mega Girl's in there. She's feeling bad because she forced this rich douchebag to help her friend who was donating her organs in a altruistic. She was doing it for penance. And a lot of the stuff I've been reading is just about everybody sitting there trying to balance out their personal philosophies. And when I took ethics in school, I thought for sure in this, I was like, finally I got something that works. And I was like, no, I don't. And I should have known when I studied algorithms. I remember one of the first things it said in the book was, no algorithm works 100% of the time. Flaws start to show up. And we're just trying to put something in place that works over 90% of the time. A nominally functional algorithm. And then we layer that with another algorithm, and we just hope for the best. And that's what ethics and morality is. We think we have a pretty good idea. Somebody came up with the idea that an invisible man is always watching us, so you better do the right thing, otherwise the invisible man will punish you when you die. Like, why not punish me now? Because no, he's gonna wait until you die. That's just after all. And it turns all of life into one big giant exam, like you're constantly being watched. It's basically a show. So in the last year and a half, I'm starting to think maybe this is it. I'm hoping this is it, because I'm tired. I really don't want to go through any more iterations of life. Because like I said, even if it's the afterlife and you're plucking harps and eating grapes, you're doing it in someone else's world who's in control. And that's one of the fallacies I keep running into, the idea that you have ownership of anything. You try your best to hold on to stuff, you try to say it's yours, You try to claim it, and then mold it, and something else always comes along and messes with it. That's where you start parroting out stuff about freedom, freedom, freedom. You want the right to do your own thing. That's thorny right. And I don't think it exists. I don't think freedom exists. I think we see how it could be. And we write it down on paper and we edit it. I think that gives us a pretty good idea. But when you start executing it and practicing it, it rarely comes about. Right now I'm not saying what I want in a volume that I want. I'm still holding back. I'm still trying to find the right way to say certain things. I think about political correctness and how it took away the ability to use the term retard. And it's like, no, retard is a pretty good word. It may seem to hold back, but you think it has negative connotations. Well, no, that's the actual word that fits. But then you think about an ethnic slur. Like I was sitting there researching the word dyke, and I thought it had something to do with the story of the kid who put his finger in the hole and he's plugging up the leaks in Holland. You know, I honestly thought that's what it meant. It was like a weird, somebody was trying to be funny about that little story. And it comes from some term meaning bull dyke. And then that term nobody can really define. It means like rough or harsh or something like that. I don't know. And so then all of a sudden I was like, well, dyke's a stupid word. It's like, it is a stupid word. I was like, most racist terms are stupid words. I was like, yeah. The N-word, which I can't say because I've been programmed to call it the N-word, makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense because the Niger River makes no sense. Because I've been calling it the Niger River my whole life. And then I hear that it's pronounced Niger. I was like, well, what? Well, it turned out it's a portmanteau of two different words. And I was like, wait, is that true? It's like, no, it means black. And I was like, well, what is it? Is it Niger means black, or does Niger come from two different names of what two different inhabitants called the river? The Gare River, the Jer River, and the Knee River. I was like, I don't know. And it only flows through the western part of Africa, the northwestern part of Africa, and yet an entire continent of people. You're all those Niger River inhabitants, those Nigers. You're like, well, that's stupid. I'm not from the Niger. There's the Nile over here too. There you go, trying to make sense out of something that's senseless. I don't use certain terms because they're stupid. It makes absolutely no sense to use a certain term. It's like, it offends me. I was like, yeah, be offended. That needs to be right. The right to offend. What we're trying to do is peter down and curb violence. I get that. But unfortunately, violence is just a part of nature. The best we can hope for is that people think before they act violently. Once again, that requires education and not necessarily laws. And I guess that's what I'm always trying to say, is that there needs to be more education on laws. And there needs to be a better explanation as to why you don't do certain things, or better examples shown how you do things, rather than just come up with a law and tell everybody, you follow this or else. And then you blindly follow the law, you never stop to think about it. Or not just the law, but the custom. And I find myself in constant conflict now, because all the stuff that I had learned when I was a kid throwing it out every day. Well, I was told this is why we do that. It's like, no, that's not entirely accurate. It's like, oh, what was it? Something I was looking at, and I kept quoting it like it was fact. And I said, wait a minute, let me check Snopes. And Snopes said, no. Yeah, we heard people were spreading that rumor. It's not true. Like, oh, okay. Something that happened in history, and I kept quoting it like it was fact. One of my teachers told me, I guess an example is one of my teachers told me, germs don't stick to silver, that's why we make stuff out of silver. And I'm telling this to biologists, and they're like, yeah, no, germs stick to pretty much everything. I was like, they do? Yeah. Like, germs are pretty robust. So what I learned later on in life is that germs don't really like metal in general. A lot of things don't really like metal in general because metal has ionic reactions to a lot of the especially the microbes. So it's not that the germs don't stick; it's just that it reacts badly with their membranes. The ions start trying to strip electrons away from the membranes of the microbe, and that can kill them. Mate. And the kind of cool thing is I wonder if Mythbusters started all that. When we start to question all the stuff we've been telling you, just about everything seems like it's a myth at a certain point. Reading about the movie The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and the line was when the truth becomes the legend, print the legend. I think I butchered the line, but the truth, what they're saying is, you either print the legend of the person or the truth. And for convenience sake, we just print the legend. Two of our presidents were called Honest Abe and Washington Never Told a Lie. We tell that to school kids, they definitely need to stop. These men lied. But see, sometimes they just had to. There were things they couldn't tell the American people, or there's things they told the American people. It's kind of a delay tactic. So either it's late at night or it's not as nice as I think it is. They don't have a lot of people out here. It's late. Like they didn't closed up now. So yeah, there's a lot of people walking around Bachman right now, late as it is. Anyway, the reason I told Mega Ran in the beginning, he probably wants to unsubscribe from my channel, because I'm not politically correct and I'm offensive. Not like super offensive, but still offensive. You know, I won't pass the smell test. I won't say I'll probably keep saying the counter-revolutionary words. I won't keep up with the latest list. And I won't keep propagating the bullshit. I'll come up with my own bullshit, and then I'll question myself on my bullshit. I won't be like them, who come up with their bullshit and never question it. $5 says he doesn't stop at that stop sign. Sucker bet. So there's an asshole that won't have his car for long. Anyway, that's another bullshit statement. Nothing's gonna happen to that man. He'll drive crazy, be a nuisance to everybody, and then just never know. That's what I mean by flux. In my head I keep saying God will deal with him, or you know, in my head I used to think God will deal with him, our great justice system will deal with him, and the reality is he'll blow through stop signs, have his tail light out, and drive like a jackass. And the probability states that nothing will probably happen to him. That's the cold reality that I'm having to start to swallow and accept. That's me sitting there wiping away the bullshit. Someone's going to die today, and the guy who killed him is going to get away with it. You can't say that out loud. I just did, and it just happened. A woman will be made to feel uncomfortable in some way, and no amount of Me Too or conversations about it are going to change it. Men have been pigs for thousands of years now, and it's not going to change maybe in 10 or 20 years. So unless the Me Too movement is really committed and has a lot of momentum, it's going to fade out again. It just does. These things happen. The civil rights movement was like that. There's a lot of momentum behind it. There's television, and then the dude's leader got shot up. Man, there's even a dude at the bus stop. The guy's leading it got shot up. There's a lot of anger and rioting, and then nothing. There was some stuff that made some people feel good, but otherwise there was no seeming significant change. And I'm finding out I'm still underpaid. I'm still underpaid and on purpose. Some of my brethren, like I said, a lot of my brethren, a lot of my similar skin types are not doing well financially. Like, we don't get better. We just stay the same or get worse. This is now documented, and you're just like, in the face of all that, you just lose heart. But when you look at the grand arc of history, you realize that you kind of feel sorry for the conquerors, because eventually they will have their day. There will be a comeuppance. Happened to the Romans, happened to the Egyptians, happened to the Babylonians, the Greeks. That day when you are no longer in charge, and you know what it feels like to build something for someone else and not really feel like or not really have a stake in it. I'm building a future that I have no part in, and that is why I'm depressed all the time. I am building a future I have no part in. I'm building a future that descendants that look like me will have no part in, so I have no descendants. Why bother? I've seen how far the conquered can go in this world. And it disheartens me. And so I'm no longer going to contribute, be a part of, or aid a system that I got no buy-in on. And that's why guys get mad. How come you guys aren't doing more? They aren't doing more because they have no buy-in to this. I understand perfectly why the millennials are doing what they're doing. It's not laziness. It's pure smarts, man. They watch their parents work for nothing. Especially, like I said, the children of conquered families. And it's like, I'm working to make you guys richer, and I'm not seeing any reward myself. You know, the words of John F. Kennedy ring hollow when your country doesn't give a shit about you. Yes, ask what your country can do for you. Because if you don't, you'll find out the answer is nothing. It's one of those idiotic statements that they put in history books and we never question. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do with your country. Fuck you, JFK. Fuck you. Skirt chasing, Percodan overdosing son of a bitch. I am the fucking country. Do something for me. JFK said, oh, don't expect anything, and work like mad for us, because it's just the right thing to do. Yeah, the hell with you.